This is a reverse idle Holley 4160. So I'm getting into the metering passages. I've put up lots of videos doing this a different way, and I have a couple of reasons. One of them being budget. I have absolutely no money. I have all the wrong tools. And this is also, see the little nubby? These reverse idle, known as emissions carbs, are, like you'll never find a metering block for this if you fuck something up, or vice versa with the main body at a swap meet. So check out my videos. This was way lean, and I richened it up by sticking copper wire into the idle air bleeds. So that's what I'm trying to do, is restrict my idle air bleeds. When you put it in the top, it's loosey-goosey, and it's not a temporary thing. It was just troubleshooting, and it told me what I needed to know. I got good vacuum, I got good things happening. So from here, I'll show you what I'm doing, but take a look here. Copper wires, right? And we're clear of our passages. So the actual metering block will go in, and it's not going to hit or interfere, and we have created a restriction. This passage here, these are your idle air bleed passages, so they come and do a 90 up. They go in and do a 90 up, right? You can, with these old carburetors, there's not always a lot of meat for extra drilling and tapping. So if you're going to modify, you can thread tap this out and then countersink it a little so that the shouldered air bleed will go in, and then you have full adjustability, which may be what I do. But again, I have to tool up for that, and then we just try to make this thing run because it's so lean. It's just a fucking nightmare. Anyway, so this is a reverse idle metering block, and you'll notice there's a lack of emulsion jets in here, right? We really only have one here that runs up to your booster. So this is your idle well. So this feed here, see how big this is? Normally a Holley has a restrictor in there, so there's a brass orifice that sizes this down considerably. So that's not there. And then also on this side, this is every bit as huge, so there's no restriction in here. So it's almost like I have a fuel and air problem at the same time. There's a complete lack of control with these screws. These are blunt. Check out my videos where I have them out. They're not sharp and fine like a regular one. So it's like an axe trying to do a scalpel's job. And that's, where this shit comes in. So all the wrong tools, wire, different thicknesses, hillbilly math, wore out caliper. Actually, it measures pretty accurate. But so what I've done is create an air restriction. And what I've got going on here, the primary air bleed size is 0.05, okay? Still in place. So I need to go smaller than that. When I ran my test, I put 0.23, maybe 0.22 wire, right? So we minus that from that, and this was the actual restricted size, okay? And then also the secondary air bleeds are 0.31. So 4.5 on the primary, 0.31, or sorry, 31 thousandths on the secondary, right? Now, first step is going to be, and I've restricted it so that it's almost square, meaning the secondaries match the primary. So I'm shooting for this number on the primaries, and then put it together and see what it does. So the hole size is approximately 120 thousandths, right? And then I stuck this rod in there, and I bent a nice little J-hook. Check out my other videos. I went down a road where I bent these up. It's really good. It works. Well, it might work. So 0.63 minus this gives us 57 thousandths. Okay, not quite where we need to be. We're still bigger than this. I'm trying to shoot lower than this. Maybe hit here. So then I took this size of wire, which is 23 thousandths. And we do our math. We take the 23 thousandths from this, 34 thousandths, which I'm going to call good enough. We're going to try this out because I left the original, when they say when you do this, if you put your air idle bleeds in here, you have to drill out the restrictor that's in the top, right? There's a brass orifice that needs to be drilled out and opened up. And that's so you can go, I think, bigger or larger. in diameter and actually get full adjustability out of it. I'm not going for full adjustability at this point. I'm just trying to restrict. So that's still in place. So shooting lower than that gives us 0.34. Now, if I do have to go down smaller, I do have even finer wire, which measures 15 thousandths. Okay, so that would take us down pretty close to this number if we've got to go that low. I don't know if we do. The other thing is, because this is so big, look how big this orifice is. So I'm going to do this first. Where I went wrong was I originally put a bent wire that went down into this hole and then just kind of kicked up and took up some real estate here, effectively leaning the air and trimming up our fuel a little. But that's introducing two variables at once, fuel and air, and I'm not, nope. I had a holy fuck, this is a bad idea moment. And so we're just going to concentrate on the air. So that has air separate from fuel for the most part, like as much as you can hillbilly do. So I'll put this back together, try it out, see what it does, and check out my videos if you haven't seen them. Really one-off content, really dumb shit ways of doing things on a budget with minimal tools, in a barn with the wrong carburetor, and an empty horse barn with a truck in it. Not a horse in here, just a truck 90% of the time. Why, you might ask? It's a long story. Because boomers. But we're gonna get this thing running here, try it out, see what it does. And the best part of this is I haven't wrecked anything, so I can always pull it back out and have a baseline. Anyway, and these rods are long enough that they stay stuck in there. They're not going to fall out like when you put them in the top. And this may be a permanent solution. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a slow crawl with this.